And we're live. Hello. Hello. Running a bit behind. Sorry about that, guys. A lot going on today. Work and just other things going on. I'm just accumulating all my Bond movies. Sorting them out. I kind of know which are my favourites, but just going through them just once again. So yes, James Bonds. What are your favourites? And also the theme songs that go for the movies. What are some of your favourites? If you can showcase some movies or whatever you can, you're welcome to come on screen and do that. Jimmy says, my top 6 is decided upon. I'll explain why it's 6 later on. That's fine. You can show up to 10 if you wish. It's fine. Doesn't have to be 5 or 6 or anything particularly. Right, here we go. I mean, I picked. Well, I picked 6 actually. Myself, 6 favourites. So yeah. How are we doing then? Jason says, I've only got Daniel Craig films. Well, I haven't got his latest one myself. I haven't got all the others. Skyfall, etc. Most of them I got on DVD. In fact, yeah, virtually all of them I have on DVD, and a few on Blu-ray. But I think DVD is good enough. Mind you, I wouldn't mind GoldenEye on Blu-ray. That'd be cool. But who knows? I might get the box set sooner or later. Six was the ideal number for how I wanted to do it. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I've got 6 too, so. All movies and radio versions, audiobooks. Show movies, show audiobooks, show the books if you wish. You know, whatever you want to showcase. Or don't, or just come there and talk about it. Don't have to show, but it's helpful if you can. Right, let's get the link out there then. I haven't done a tier or anything like that. I looked into that and thought it was too much work, so I left it for a while, and then suddenly Friday came around, and I thought, too late, isn't it? Never mind. Right, there's the link. That's how you feel about the tier list. Much work, yeah. It is a lot of work, isn't it? You're right, Ian.
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
I'm not. See, I've got all my Bond in this lovely.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they've all been remastered, re-cleaned, and everything. It goes up to Casino Royale, and then obviously I've got the rest as they've come out.
Yeah, mine are all separate DVDs.
Oh, this is just brilliant because this box set, it has commentaries, documentaries.
Yeah,
Absolutely. The sound on the, like some of the early, like Doctor No, they've made it surround sound.
Cool.
So it's brilliant. So when you've got the full thing, you got to play it loud though. You can't have it just turned down.
Yeah, I've got like the old DVD set they did, back in the sort of 2000s.
Yeah, I've even got that one.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
And somewhere, I think I haven't got it physically, but I got it off Amazon for about $2.99. The Spoof Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
got all the audio books.
What would you say then, Neil, in your top sort of 5 songs from the James Bond series?
I actually love the theme tune from Majesty's Secret Service. The opening credit for that is pretty awesome. It sums up. I know it's not probably the best Bond movie, but it's got a real good theme. I like the Nancy Sinatra "You Only Live Twice."
That's a nice song.
Yeah. Live and Let Die, of course, Paul McCartney and Wings. My favourite Shirley Bassey one has to be Goldfinger.
Goldfinger, yeah, good choice.
Yeah, Carly Simon's "Nobody Does It Better." I like that.
Yeah, that's a lovely song.
And I like the one that Jack White did.
Jack White, what did he do? You have to remind me.
With Alicia Keys. Was it Quantum of Solace?
Could have been.
Yeah, I like Chris Cornell's Casino Royale as well. That was absolutely.
I'm not too familiar with the Daniel Craig ones, like what the songs are and who done them.
Some of them are pretty dour. I mean, I did like the Billie Eilish one. That's the best, but Sam Smith's was just abysmal.
Billie Eilish done "No Time to Die." Is that right?
Yeah, great. I don't like Adele anyway, so that was an instant no.
Yeah. "Diamonds Are Forever." That's a good song.
Yeah.
That's Shirley Bassey again, isn't it?
Yeah, she did 3.
She did 3, yeah.
She did "Diamonds Forever," "Moonraker," and of course "Goldfinger."
Yeah, all great songs.
Yeah, the one that she doesn't like, or no one seems to like, is "Moonraker," but I think
it's a good song. The film isn't too good. It's a bit kind of, I don't know, comical at times, and it's a bit sort of far-fetched, isn't it? When you're going out to like the adventures of space, it's a bit.
It's
a bit iffy, isn't it?
It is. It's not one of my favourite Roger Moore films.
Yeah, those 2 movies with Jaws. There's a lot of comedy in those 2 Bonds, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, Spy Who Loved Me was the very first Bond movie I saw at the cinema.
Spy Who Loved Me, yeah.
So, I mean, I think Jaws is more believable in Spy Who Loved Me because he is a proper baddie.
Yeah.
But in Moonraker, they've made him a bit of a comic cat.
They did, didn't they? They did, yeah.
Yeah, see, one of my favourite baddies is Nick Nack.
Nick Nack.
From The Man from the Golden Gun. I think I love that character.
Yeah, it's good. That's a good Bond, that is.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Britt Ekland in it. I think she's probably one of the worst Bond girls. She was a bit plastic.
Yeah.
It's good. The Bond films I like are the ones where the plots very much what Ian Fleming wrote about spying and the Russians, and and I mean Spectre's sort of based on Smersh, which is what in the books that it's Smersh. So Spectre's, it's these sort of spy type things. I mean, towards the end of Pierce Brosnan's stint, invisible cars and things. It was a little bit.
Yeah, it got a bit kind of.
Yeah, and that's why I like when Daniel Craig came in. It went back to basics.
Yeah, it did. Well, it basically went to the beginning, didn't it? Like they kind of rebooted it through doing.
Yeah, it'd be interesting how they're going to reboot it again.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it, because it's all sort of like on a cliffhanger, isn't it? Where supposedly,
I think I'd love it to go back to set in the time that Ian Fleming wrote the books.
It could be a Bond girl, couldn't it?
I'm sorry.
You know how things are.
Yeah. Unfortunately, James Bond is James Bond. You don't muck about with an iconic go woke, go broke.
Yeah. Is there a James Bond who's been announced? I don't.
Well, there's been. Was it Aaron? He's sort of thing. Henry Cavill, I think, would make a good Bond because he was great in that remake of The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Right.
He was really good in that. The guy that was in The Bodyguard, that BBC drama, springs to mind.
Behave.
Yes, he's absolutely right. You can't change. And everyone's, it should be, what's it, Idris Elba, whatever his name is. I think he is too old, and he's already said he doesn't want it, but I think he'd make a really good baddie. The actor that played Luther, I think he's got, Luther's quite a dark character, and I think he would make a fantastic, villain. He'd be absolutely brilliant as a villain. Yeah, so I think, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Taylor Johnson. Will Taylor Johnson be the next James Bond?
It's sort of been given the role, but it hasn't, as Jimmy says, it's not been officially. But yeah, I think that would be a good fit. He's young. You'll be able to, they've got to go for a younger actor. So I reckon they've got to take it back to the old days.
There's 7 here listed on Google. Henry Cavill, the man from U.N.C.L.E. He played in 2015. He looks the part.
Yeah, he certainly does.
Tom Hiddleston. He was in the Night Manager. Who else do we have? Renee Jean Page. Renee Jean Page. Can't see how that's going to work, but okay.
Yeah, I just had never. No, I just it's like would they have a white actor playing Black Panther? No. So
this is crazy.
Yeah, you can't.
James Norton, who was in Rogue Agent in 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've got a funny feeling it is Aaron Taylor because a lot of people are.
We've got Robert Pattinson. He doesn't look like a Bond.
Well.
No. Who else do we have?
You can't reboot a franchise like Bond with someone who'd have been older than Roger Moore when he retired. Absolutely right.
Number 2 is Harris Dickinson, sorry, who was in The King's Man in 21.
Yeah. What was
He
his
looks a bit young.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, I would love them to do a remake of the book, or we'll do the book version of Moonraker.
Number 1 on this list is Tom Hardy. I can't see him doing Bond.
No.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, Jimmy's right. Clive Owen, he was, you know, when Daniel got the job, but I mean, of all the Bonds that actually has Ian Fleming wrote him, the one that got it absolutely spot on was Daniel Craig. That arrogance, that James Bond, the character, is quite arrogant, and Daniel Craig played James Bond as a very arrogant, pompous man, and he got it absolutely spot on.
He did. I see a lot of like Sean Connery in the way he sort of portrays his character. You know, he has that kind of, I don't know, look about him in a way.
Yeah, I thought
he carries himself, you know.
I thought Timothy Dalton's Bond was good as well.
It was good Bond. Yeah, it was good Bond. But that was that sort of time where they were going more violent, weren't they, in those 80s movies?
Yeah. I'm not going to go too much because the ones I'm going to show, because I've already done a tier ranking of my favourite Bond films. I'm going to pick my favourite Bond film of all the Bond actors.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, because it may, even though there's one guarantee because you've only made one film. You see, Her Majesty's Secret Service is actually my favourite book.
That's actually my favourite, not my favourite, my cousin's favourite James Bond, Her Majesty's Secret Service.
It's a very good book. And the radio adaptation of it's good because on the radio, I'll tell you who plays it. It's what's his name? Who played Gustav in Die Another Day?
Yeah,
he plays Bond.
I like the way the film on Her Majesty's Secret Service, where it starts, where you see it through his eyes, where he's fighting on the beach. You never really sort of experienced that in any other previous Bond films. You know, that sort of very quick fighting in his eyes. That was quite good.
Yeah,
I thought.
And then that bit where this didn't happen to the other guy, I thought that was quite.
Yeah.
I don't think George Lazenby was given. I don't know if he was. They should have given him another film.
Did he star in another Bond very quickly?
No, he was only in one. He only did Her Majesty's Secret Service. I think they should have given him Diamonds Are Forever. Because as much as I love Sean Connery, he was too old when he come back for that.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it, did he? He was quite reluctant to go back.
Yeah, I think he may have regretted that. I think he should have been. I think that should. I mean, I think it'd have been better for continuity as well because it does actually follow it after the books as well. So, his hunt for Blofeld.
Was it about money? Why Connery stopped doing it?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of stories about why he stopped doing it. I don't know if he got bored with the role or.
Didn't he feel that the character kind of? I think he was a bit disappointed in the. I'm trying to think of the one what it's called. I think he felt a bit sort of disappointed in You Only Live Twice, where I think he felt maybe the characters kind of like, I don't think he really appreciated all the kind of makeup and that he had to wear for that movie. I think it pissed him off a bit.
I think George Lazenby is. I think he did only because it meant bigger things for him. He didn't. I think it'd have been all right as another one, because they always wanted Roger Moore because of his role in The Saint.
The Saint, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like Pierce Brosnan. When Roger left, they wanted him, and
yes, that's right.
Yeah, because Remington Steele had finished, and they're finished, and he was given the role, but then they brought back Remington Steele. So that's how Dalton got it. But I think even when Dalton was going to be finished, because there was a lot of contract and red tape on that. But when they sorted out the legal side, I think Pierce was the first person that Barbara went for, was Pierce. I liked Pierce Brosnan. I thought he was good. I mean, it was quite fun.
Yeah, it was quite a gap between the last Timothy film when the Pierce Brosnan's Goldeneye.
I think that was about 89.
Yeah, Goldeneye was about 95, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 95.
About, 5-6 years, isn't it?
Yeah, that's got a good theme tune.
It is.
Tina Turner.
Tina Turner, yeah. Good track.
I just wonder if they'll give the next one to someone. Make it a little bit more pink down ones.
As good as Daniel Craig is as Bond, they're not so much movies I'd like often go back to watch, as I tend to do that with the older ones.
I think that some of the plots in the newer ones are a little bit long. Some of the scenes are really long-winded. I think is it in Skyfall where there's one scene that goes on too long, and the intro to No Time to Die is too long. It became more the. I think they started to become a little bit soapy in places.
It's just they were a bit more dragged out, weren't they?
Oh man, get on with it.
Older ones are just you quickly get through the story, but with the more modern ones, they seem to.
Yeah, I mean, Skyfall went on a bit too long. So did Spectre, and No Time to Die was too long. I mean, when I sat in the cinema, I got started getting an irritable backside because I had to keep doing this. It was just far too long. So to me, Bond is something happens, a bad guy starts up a little thing, Bond gets called to the office, they talk about it, off he goes, does the mission, saves the day, tea and biscuits and medals all round. And that's what a Bond film should be. 2 hours of pure fantasy, bit of fun on the way, and saving the day. No deep, meaningful relationships nonsense. Quantum of Solace was the first time that they sort of continued a Bond film from Casino Royale. I didn't, and that's not a particular favourite of mine anyway.
Well, if they made like a Certificate 18 Bond.
Yeah.
How do you feel
Jimmy
about
puts the link, apparently.
Oh, sorry.
And my name's Ian in this stream, Matthew. None of that Windsor nonsense. That's as old as some of my, yeah.
Didn't George Lazenby choose to finish after one film, thinking that Bond would lead him on to bigger things?
I think so.
He did choose to finish after one film, I think. There he is.
The name's Barnes.
Barnes.
You already knew that.
Jimmy Barnes.
I should have got Rocky and stood there. I don't think you'd have been too impressed with that.
I think you'd make a good Blofeld, actually.
There's only one man to play Blofeld, Donald Pleasance. He was the best Blofeld.
It was a different one each time, weren't it? I think.
Yeah. Bit like Felix Leiter.
Yeah, until the reboot. Well, I suppose the newest Blofeld, he was in 2, weren't he?
He was pretty good.
Christoph Waltz, is that him?
Yeah, I think he played him. He was evil.
Yeah.
James Gray was too camp for Blofeld for me in Diamonds Forever. And Telly Savalas, I wasn't keen on his version of Blofeld.
No,
But I did like Donald Pleasance.
Best of Bond.
Yeah. My favourite format, yeah.
On mini disc.
We'll try not to go. Yeah. So this obviously only goes up till, what's the most recent on here? I've got a feeling it's Sheryl Crow, but I will check. Yeah, Sheryl Crow, Tomorrow Never Dies is the most recent Bond theme on there. So this would have been from 99, 2000. But it's got all the other ones.
What will be your top five on that mini disc?
Oh, well, I did my ranking, didn't I? I can remember my top 3, certainly. Number 3 was Live and Let Die by Wings. Number 2 was A View to a Kill by Duran Duran. And number 1 was Living Daylights by A-ha. I know, I think the James Bond theme, but I classed it as the Dr. No theme, that was like number 6 for me. I think Nobody Does It Better, Carly Simon. That might have been number 5. I'm trying to think what number 4 was.
That's a great song. Great song.
I'm going to go back and rewatch my video, really. Well, yeah, definite top 3. Wings, Duran Duran, A-ha was, that was an easy top 3 for me when I first decided to do that video.
Yeah, I liked the Duran Duran one and the Ha-ha. I thought they were very good.
They were good songs.
Didn't like Gladys Knight when she did License to Thrill. That was a good one.
Yeah, it's grown on me over the years. That I didn't like it an awful lot originally, but I enjoy it loads now. And there's like I think an underrated one for me is All Time High by Rita Coolidge. That was top 10 for me, and I didn't used to like that particularly. Yeah,
it's not one of my favourites, but you're right. It's a very underrated song.
It's not elite here, but it's up there. Same tier.
It's just got a nice voice. I wasn't keen on Lulu's much.
No, that was pretty low for me. It might have been third from bottom actually out of 26.
I've seen Her Eastern For Your Eyes Only.
Oh, I like that.
I really like that.
I do like For Your Eyes Only. It's I think it's a good theme.
I think
good
it's
songs, but not so good film.
Yes, probably Roger's my least favourite, and the soundtrack to it's pretty naff as well. It's a very dated soundtrack.
I watched that quite recently, and like when it goes to like all those kind of stunts on the skis and stuff to Roger Moore, I just can't buy it because he doesn't He doesn't move like that, does he? He's not quick. He just seems, I don't know, like an old man in that movie almost.
I'll give you a quick butchers at my my box set. It's the Blu-ray box set.
Oh,
I'm
the
sure you've
Blu-ray.
seen it around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the first 23 films on. I don't know why I always said there were 26 films altogether. There's 24 because 23 all till Spectre, and then my first ever Bond on 4K is No Time to Die. So,
what do you think of No Time to Die? I saw that in the cinema.
I like it. As a way of my main problem with it was it. I mean, a lot of it was COVID and everything, so it kind of came out sort of like a couple of years after people wanted it to come out, sort of thing, and it felt a bit. It was delayed sort of once too often, really. But the actual film, I liked it. It's not my favourite Daniel Craig, but I'll talk about that when I do my top 6. Like you and Ian, I've gone down the route of rather than picking a top 10 all together or top 5 or whatever, I'm picking one from each, Bond actor. So I wonder what my Lazenby one's going to be. That's gonna that a tricky decision. Massive choice to make. I don't know. No, I'm taking the mick a bit there, but yeah, I'll talk about that because I do. Well, I won't say too much now, but I do like On Her Majesty's Secret Service anyway. But I'll talk about why later on. Yeah, No Time to Die. Decent. It's a long film. I forget it's well over 2.5 hours, but as a swan song to Daniel Craig, it was good. Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's basically like the ultimate kind of last James Bond film then. As it kind of goes back to the beginning in Casino Royale. And in a way, he kind of goes, all the way back to the end on that movie, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's, Casino Royale starts out with him earning his 007 status.
Yeah.
And then No Time to Die. I feel like we've probably passed giving major spoilers, seeing as how the film's a few years old now. But I don't want to. I'm still a bit wary in case someone's like, "Oh, I was going to watch that for the first time."
I know. But yeah, it's been around a couple of years.
Those of you who know what happens at the end of No Time to Die, yeah, it's closure, shall we say?
So
I didn't like that. Why if they were going to carry on with the franchise?
So assumingly somewhere in the middle, the new Bond is gonna.
Yeah, but it's not a lineal continuation. It's not a lineal film. It's not like, oh, this is the same James Bond who was giving women a slap in 1962, was it? That's Sean Connery. It was rebooted. You could argue every time there's a new Bond, it's a reboot. Although with Lazenby, with Roger Moore, there's a scene in one of the films in the 70s. I can't remember which one it is, but he's there at his dead wife's grave. Who died.
That's the opening scene of For Your Eyes Only, because he puts Blofeld down the.
Yes, yeah, For Your Eyes Only. Yeah, so that's obviously referencing a past Bond. It was referencing Lazenby's Bond. But
yeah, it does come up about Teresa. It comes up in The Spy Who Loved Me.
Teresa, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because Barbara Park, don't play Triple X, was going married once, and Bond sort of shut her down. And there's always that reference that he was married. I think in all the Bonds, there's always been that.
Yeah.
But obviously up until the thing, I think that's a film that needs remaking.
Yeah, so some of them could have a remake. I mean, Never Say Never Again was technically a loose remake of Thunderball.
Yeah,
because I think not because anyone thought, Thunderball really needs remaking, but I think the company that was like one of the few things they actually had the rights to, was the
Yeah.
Thunderball story. So they just had to rework it and retweak it a bit. I've not seen Never Say Never Again in many years. I did have it on DVD years ago, and I got rid of it somewhere down the line. But it's not part of the official canon for me, so I don't tend to really think about it an awful lot.
I mean, as I said to Sam before you came on, Jimmy, I think if you go back to do old style spy stories, and I'd love them to do Moonraker properly.
Mm.
Like the
Yeah.
book.
I think I did read Moonraker years ago, but it's
it's more about instead of a space shuttle, they took that because it was space shuttles sort of thing, but it was about the character was Drax, but it was developing a nuclear weapon, a missile. It's all about his missiles.
Yeah, I have read it.
Very,
Yeah,
very good
many
story.
years.
It's a very, very good story.
Mm.
I mean, some of the there's You Only Live Twice. Some of that book story was actually in the last Bond film. You know, the scene with with that sort of chemical garden that he was building.
Oh yeah.
That is actually from You Only Live Twice. That little bit.
Oh.
And there's bits in Octopussy, like, Property of a Lady, a bit about the egg. That was a very short story. Because Ian Fleming wrote some short stories, and there's a great one. I think it's what one is it? I can't remember because there's some of the titles are different, but it's set in France. And then there's one where he chases a traitor, and that's the Octopussy is one when he's chasing this traitor sort of thing. So there's some of the same, but there's some like the books like Colonel Sun and things like that. There's still a lot of material out there for them to do without going bizarre. But I'd love a proper Moonraker, as in the book.
Yeah.
What is the last Ian Fleming book, Bond? Does anyone know?
See, that's where I struggle because I didn't get around to finishing them all. I read a fair few, but I didn't read the whole lot, sadly, because some of them were really good.
I'm assuming Casino Royale was the first
as well. What's the one that was like? It was like two short stories in one.
Yeah,
in one book.
Right, I've brought them up. Let's have a look. Right, his first one he wrote was Casino Royale in 1953, Live and Let Die 1954, Moonraker 55, Diamonds Are Forever 56, From Russia with Love 57, Dr. No 58, Goldfinger 59, Thunderball 61, The Spy Who Loved Me 62, on His Majesty's Secret, her Majesty's Secret Service was 63. You Only Live Twice 64. The Man with the Golden Gun 65. And then there's two short stories. There's one called For Your Eyes Only from 60, and Octopussy and Living Daylights, two short stories, and that was 66. So they've used titles. I think the Living Daylights is the one about an Octopussy, about the traitor. And there's also Property of a Lady as well.
Right. So the Living Daylights would be the last of the film franchises written by Ian Fleming. After then, it'd be other.
Of course he did. I mean, the other thing that Ian Fleming wrote was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh yeah, so he did.
Yeah.
Yes. And Ian Fleming was part of, the film Operation Mincemeat, about the deception, the true story about they deceived the Germans about where land at Crete invasion was going to be something out there, and they had a dead body, and they deliberately sent him off the coast of Spain. Ian Fleming was part of the dirty tricks that come up with that.
Oh.
Yeah, because he was a real spy, basically, Ian Fleming.
Mm.
So yeah, it's his books are the best, and that's why I get a little bit upset when I want to keep trying to. The Fleming estate still have a lot of say in what happens with Bond. So,
well, yeah, because there's been subsequent Bond novels written by other authors that are officially approved by the estate.
You can't just write a book on James Bond without getting a nod.
Mm. Yeah, because I've never read any of them. The one that I heard was pretty good was by, I think, Sebastian Faulks, I think, from maybe about 20 years ago. I think it was called Devil May Care or something like that. And that had good reviews apparently, but I thought about buying a copy at one point, but no, never got round to. Well, I think I wanted to finish the actual Fleming novels and then go on to these official Bond 007 Fleming estate novels by other authors. But because I didn't finish Fleming, I thought, well, I'm not gonna skip the rest of his and go on to Sebastian Faulks and there were another one. There's quite a well-known author who wrote one. His name's there and I can't access it. But someone who was quite well known for writing stuff like years previous anyway.
And do you know there has another person has played James Bond on the radio, apart from Toby Stevens, who played it in the adapt. There's two people.
I think I know who it is. It won't be someone who hosted a certain quiz show by any chance, will it?
Yeah, he's played James Bond.
Yeah.
Another person, I can't think of his name's John something. I'll just look it up.
Get a drink.
Because I can't remember what his name is, but when they did You Only Live Twice on the radio, it was done before Toby Stevens did his adaptations.
Was Toby Stevens? He was the baddie in Die Another Day, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was Gustav.
Yeah. Yeah. Nick's got it. You're laughing at it, Jason, but that is the right answer. It was Bob Holness.
Yeah, Bob Holness. Yeah, Michael Jason played. It was Michael Jason that played James Bond in You Only Live Twice, and a lot of people, you see, when they did the radio version of Goldfinger, Rosamund Pike played Pussy Galore.
She was in Die Another Day as well, wasn't she?
Yeah. And in the Her Majesty's Secret Service, Joanna Lumley, that was actually in the film, on the radio version, she plays Irma Bunt.
Oh, the German Hausfrau.
Yeah.
I can't picture her in that role, but I suppose for radio it probably would.
Yeah, the way the BBC done, they got Martin Jarvis to read. He sort of was the voice of Ian Fleming. Yeah, they're really good. I think they're on Audible or something. They are really good.
Yeah. Are the BBC productions like for Radio 4 or?
Yeah,
I wonder if any of them are on BBC Sounds. Then I might have to search something out.
Yeah, they're really good. They're about an hour and a half long. You see, like the Spy Who Loved Me book is nothing like the film. one little bit.
No, yeah, like a lot of them, they use the title and then not really much else, because I think it get confusing for some of the films, because there would have been the original Fleming novel and then the movie years later with the same title but bearing little to no resemblance to the Fleming novel, and then there's a novelization of the film with the title of the book, but obviously it's two different stories, really.
Yes, very, very strange goings on. Yeah, it's like like A License to Kill. They went. There was a book written, I can't remember, called License Revoked, and they didn't think, they changed it to License to Kill for the American.
Yes, I read that quite recently. Yeah,
apparently they thought the Americans wouldn't understand.
Fair dues, they probably wouldn't. You know what the Yanks are like.
Yeah.
Racism.
Yes, Live and Let Die is loosely based around it.
Yeah, I've read Live and Let Die, and there's it's not sort of really true to the movie, but there's certainly a lot of stuff in both.
Involved. The end bit is nothing like the end of the real one, is it? The movie, is it?
No.
Yeah, so there are some good stuff. I can tell you some of my least favourite Bond movies. I'm not a great lover of For Your Eyes Only. I just think it's a very weak plot. I don't like. Some of the acting in it's plastic. Holly Johnson, whatever her bloody knows, the skater. The skater is awful. I'd say that's probably Roger Moore's worst film.
It gets a bit kind of creepy, doesn't it? Because of that skater, being so young, and Roger Moore being so much older.
Even
he went, didn't he? Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. First time Bond. Well, something the worst, the least favourite Sean Connery has to be Diamonds Forever, because he was too old for the role.
Yeah, he was.
See, my favourite characters are there, Mr. Kidd and Mr. Winter.
Diamonds, though. I think, like I said, I wanted to talk a little bit more about Lazenby when I was talking about my top 6, but I think Diamonds Are Forever. If Lazenby had been in that instead of Connery, that would have been like top tier for me. Like, I agree. I love the story to Diamonds Are Forever, but I do agree with you about Connery. It's like he's come back for a payday, and that's it, really.
Yeah.
Got some.
He's put a bit of weight on, hasn't he? In that movie, you can tell he's a bit bigger than that.
Yeah, but the stars of that were, Mr. Kidd and
Mr. Winter, Mr. Kidd, yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
I think they're really good as a couple of sort of not major villains, but kind of these recurring creepy henchmen. If
God would made us to fly, Mr. Kidd, they would have given us wings. I love that line, and that little bit of music every time they appeared was just.
Yeah.
A pretty worst movie. Let's sing. Go on. Timothy Dalton out of the two. I won't say that one because that'll give away when I say.
Give away your favourite, won't it?
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan has to be Die Another Day.
It has to be. Although I slag off Die Another Day every time someone brings it up, but. I do it as just pure bubble gum for the eyes. I do enjoy it when I put it on. It's
There's so much CGI in that, though, isn't there?
I know, and some of it looks pretty ropey as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, invisible cars and.
I know it's silly. It's stupid. It's got a theme that
It came out at the
No,
sort of
I
time
don't
Fast
rate.
and Furious was out, didn't it? Or Fast and the
Yeah.
second movie, and it
Mm.
just kind of it. I think it's even got one of the actors from it, hasn't it?
I think
was
the
a bit-
best
it was
bit
a
of
bit
that
of-
film is the actual
Right.
the pre-title scene. I think that's the best bit.
Yeah, the where he's being tortured. Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, that is probably one of.
Then
really
it goes, and then
very-
it went silly. You know, when he walked. I mean, I loved it when he walked into that hotel in his like,
Yeah,
and he got the service. That was good. And then and then it sort of went off
But he-
scale.
He got resuscitated, didn't he? And he just got up and just left. Just left the hospital, didn't he? Like,
Yeah,
it's a bit.
yeah. Daniel Craig's got to be Quantum of Solace. I just don't like that movie.
yeah. No, everyone always says, "Oh, Quantum of Solace, it's weak." After Casino Royale, for me, that was always going to be a really hard act to follow. But there again, Quantum of Solace, and it's I think it's one of the shorter Bond films as well. It's not more than about an hour and 40 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
It's a breeze to watch for me. Quantum of Solace. It's maybe the villains and the general storyline isn't particularly
It's weak.
strong.
It's not a very good plot.
I think Craig certainly he holds it together, and I've got a lot of time for Quantum myself, but I do understand why it's a lot of people's least favorite Daniel Craig. I get it. It's the story is a little bit on the weak side.
Most dated Bond movie. I can't really. I don't think they're.
Can we not just say it's this one?
Yeah, I think that's a damn good one. I'll go with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got it to hold up, but I'll give Jason a punch in the face, and that'll there we go. Yeah, so that's me agreeing. Sorry, Jason.
I've only got this because I'm a James Bond completist, so I had to have it.
I sang got round to replacing my old copy, and
I mean the Casino Royale they made with David Niven. I don't see it as a Bond film because
it got on my nerves. That I thought I'd really enjoy it. It being 60s and kind of camp and comedy.
Some of it it's
Never
too
seen it.
long-winded.
I've never seen it.
You're not missing anything, in my opinion.
The bit at the beginning when he's up in Scotland and that funeral and all that should go, and then the bit at the end when they all get blown up and go on. But it has got a fine tune by Herb Albert.
As for I mean, we've all picked Never Say Never Again as our most dated Bond film. If you mean official ones, I mean, generally, a lot of the 60s, and I suppose even like most of the 70s ones, if you look back, there's parts that like really have dated rather poorly, but that's just with the passage of time, innit? So I forgive Bond a lot. I forgive there's a lot, especially in Connery's era, there's a lot of casual and maybe even not so casual misogyny, let's be honest. But there was in the books. In a way, Connery, was kind of ideal to play that sort of, sexist pig type Bond, really, that'd give a woman a slap as soon as kind of kiss her, really. But so dated, so a lot of it's sort of, leaning in towards sort of Cold War tension, certainly from Russia with Love was. But
I love that movie. I think that's a proper spy movie, a 60s spy movie.
It's ace in it, yeah. I mean, I think you probably know what my favourite Connery is now, but
but it's just a great movie.
It
I
is,
think is the close that's where it, when they were, you got Bond in a big collared shirt and their suits. But that's the thing. But it doesn't take away things. So I don't think they've dated. It's just
Yeah, it's funny watching because I rewatched them all and like logged it on me secondary Instagram account every time I did. Like put a photo up just to show I've watched Doctor No, I've watched From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, etc. And when you're watching them sort of not literally back to back, but when you're watching like trying to watch like one a night, which I were doing, it's the whole datedness of it doesn't feel quite so jarring because each one maybe feels that little bit more because it's less time's passed. Doctor No was 61, 62 years ago, but then From Russia with Love was 60 to 61 years, and then before you know it, like a week, 10 days has passed, and you're into sort of like late 70s, early 80s Roger Moore, and then like you're starting to see things like Sonny Walkman in like A View to a Kill in the mid 80s, and suddenly you're in an era that like, oh well, I were born in 80. This doesn't feel dated particularly, apart from like the old tech and stuff.
Yeah, you got a milkman who's going around strangling people with a pair of headphones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Best Bond villain.
Got to be Jaws, isn't it?
No, because I'm not shitting on your opinion there, but I'm not. No, I resent that song. No, the thing is, like Jaws as a villain in what was his first Spy Who Loved Me?
I love me. As I said earlier, I think he was good in that, but they made him a bit
great
of a
villain. But they baby faced him in Moonraker, and I kind of like that because he had a more comedic kind of role in it anyway, but. And just him sort of teaming up with James Bond and that little girlfriend he had. Oh, I don't know if she. I mean, she has a credit, but I think at the time she might have been an uncredited actress in that. Weirdly, so I'm not sure if any lines. Can't remember who the actress was who played Jaws' girlfriend, but yeah, I like Jaws. I have a lot of time for him, and even in Moonraker. But best Bond villain. See, like it's difficult just to go with Blofeld because then you've got to think like which is the best Blofeld. I probably think Christoph Waltz is, to be honest. I liked Scaramanga in Man with the Golden Gun.
Christopher Lee was brilliant.
If anything, like I know you said how much you like Nick Nack. I didn't particularly like him. I thought they could have done away with a lot of his stuff and just had more Christopher Lee. Myself, personally, I'd have rather seen more of Christopher Lee in that film than of I can't pronounce his surname, but Nick Nack.
Yeah, I thought Robert Carlyle was a very good baddie as well.
Yes, I've forgotten his name now. Oh, I'll tell you what, one a baddie I like. Sean Bean in GoldenEye.
Oh, he was brilliant.
Yeah,
fantastic. Yeah.
And, Jonathan Price.
Alex Trevelyan, that's it. I was forgetting his name. Alex Trevelyan.
Jonathan Price in Tomorrow Never Dies. He was quite a
Odd Job as well, of course.
Odd Job's
Ultimate Strongman.
Yeah.
That was his words, wasn't it? But I think my favourite baddie has got to be Goldfinger.
Yeah.
I think the character Gert Ford played him brilliantly, and he's very light, and he played him very much like the character in the book. It's another baddie that's played very well, and I think Donald Pleasence at Blofeld was as Ian Fleming sort of wrote him. And not forgetting her from the little Russian Colonel Klebb.
Yeah.
Has to be, doesn't it? The number one of Sean Connery's list of movies. And probably the best of them all. It is the classic James Bond movie, in my view, and many others.
It's the film that kind of properly established Bond as a franchise, really, weren't it? That Goldfinger, I think, with the theme, it's like established a lot of the motifs that, went forward throughout the series.
It's a shame the first movie didn't sort of was good as this. It would have been preferable if it would got off the ground running. Like Dr. No seemed a bit disappointing, didn't it? How it ends.
It's when you sort of watch it in context as being the start of a 60+ year film series. Really, if that had just been like a standalone sort of action 60s spy film, but I mean they need to find the feet, and I think From Russia with Love, as Ian says, and I agree with him, it's just a cracking spy film. Nothing, regardless of it being Bond, really. But Goldfinger was like, this is now Bond's like a thing now.
It all came together, didn't it? I think in this movie.
It's the madman trying to take over the world syndrome, wasn't it?
Yeah. Great baddie. Odd Job. Goldfinger, of course, was played perfectly. Just all around. Brilliant James Bond movie. And of course, on Her Majesty's Secret Service, the only George Lazenby movie, so it has to be in the top 6.
Yeah.
And it is, don't get me wrong, it is a good James Bond movie.
It's a great one. It's a great one.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of time and love for On Her Majesty's.
There's a lot of people who think this is the best, so, you can't knock it. A lot of these are firsts. Live and Let Die. I think.
Cool. Yeah.
Best.
Yep.
License to Kill, I think, was Timothy's second movie. I love that it's a 15, and it's got cocaine in it, and it's so much more adult than anything.
It's pretty violent, and
it is. Maybe a bit over the top. Maybe
that's a revenge movie. That is really.
It is.
Yeah.
But good. And one of my favourites, GoldenEye, Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
I love this. I could watch this over and over again. I just think it's a fantastic.
It's quality in it, GoldenEye. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It's. They set the bar here, haven't they? With the Pierce. Pierce's James Bond franchise, and they never beat it. It's just, they gradually got worse, I think, didn't they? And of course, Casino Royale, best Daniel Craig movie.
Very
good.
Outstanding film, Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Always love it. Yeah.
I expect your two probably be similar, no doubt.
I've got mine already, so I'll go next film.
Yeah.
Let's put some light on the scene. At my end. Hold on, folks. Let's put let there be light. There we go. Right. As for Simon, bit of Goldfinger.
Classic.
It whoops. Technical lights here in Northampton. Classic. The plot is brilliant. As I said, it's the madman taking over the world. One of Sean's finest roles as Mr. Bond. This is going to be a strange one, but it's very personal. The Spy Who Loved Me, because this was the first James Bond film I went to see at the cinema. But I do like the plot. Kurt Jürgens Stromberg was brilliant.
It's solid.
It's got the submarine car in it. It's got Barbara back in it. What more do you want? It's got a great theme tune. It's just action from the minute it starts, and it's got the best stunt.
Yeah.
The ski opening up as the Union Jack. That's why it's my favourite. Roger Moore. It's the first one I went to see at the cinema. Timothy Dalton, it's going to be License to Kill as well for me, because Robert Davi was great as Sanchez. He was a real evil baddie.
He was.
It was a revenge film. It was not your normal out of the blocks film, was it? Because, you know, Felix gets injured, Della gets killed. Bond is not doing it for Queen or country. He's doing it for his friend. So that's why I think it is. People say it's not. It's a great story, great plot, and I thought, and it's one of Desmond Llewellyn's finest performances as Q. You know, he was in the action. You know, he went off.
Yeah, I agree.
He went rogue. Well, he didn't go rogue because M sent him out to supply him. Because there's that poignant bit where M says your license is revoked, and he jumped over the thing, and they went this, and the other Secret Service went to kill him, and M went, you know, let him go, because he knew what he was going to do. And of course, yeah, we're all going to be the same. GoldenEye, it set the standards. You know, we'd been waiting years for a Bond film. This came out, and it blew us away.
Yeah.
Pierce was brilliant. Sean Bean, and you got Frankie Jensen. She, you know, the other baddie. She was great in it. She played Honor Top, didn't she?
Oh, top, yeah. Natasha was good in that as well, was she?
Yeah, and you know, your man goes, "I'm invincible" with his twisting thumbs.
Boris
and the General. Some great performances in that film, and John Doe Baker as it got humour. Robbie Coltrane. It's just a great movie.
Yeah, great Bond.
Again, it's Casino Royale, because this is the one and only film that really sticks to the book.
Yeah, that is a great James Bond film.
It is. It's got Vesper Lund, a great character from the thing. Everyone portrays these characters just like in the book. And I think it was important. After Die Another Day, they went back to basics. And I think this did it. This brought Bond back to reality. Taking a classic story, putting in a little bit of modern day and added a little bit to it, but 99.9% of that film is the story, especially the card game itself. That is, you know, in the book, it's the pinnacle of the book, and it's the pinnacle of the film as well.
Those card scenes were great.
Yeah, it's and if you read it in the book, it's just you get that intensity as you do watching it.
Yeah, great list.
It's very similar, but you know there are in our list because they are just ultimate Bond, aren't they?
All right, you ready, Jimmy?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, you
yeah, so I've picked my top 6 out of the 6 actors. I have ranked them in an order of preference, but it would be I'd have a different top 5, top 6, top 10 if I was doing the whole lot. But yeah, so I'm doing it the same as you. I'm just putting these in order of preference. So number 6 is Roger Moore's first one, Live and Let Die. All these cases are pretty similar, so I thought I'd get the out and show you. Live and Let Die, Roger Moore's first, Roger Moore's best. The whole blaxploitation stuff, I think, I suppose it's dated. You know, that you could argue this may be the most dated Bond film in a lot of ways, but it's such fun. Roger Moore has that sort of freshness to the role that I think we needed after Sean Connery came back for Diamonds Are Forever. And, you know, I've got a lot of time for Diamonds Are Forever, but Connery, it felt like he was coming back and kind of, you know, sleepwalking through it for a payday in a lot of ways. But my number 6 is Roger Moore, Live and Let Die. Number 5, And yeah, it's going to be quite a similar list. But out of the two Daltons, and I've had a renewed appreciation for Dalton since I rewatched his two recently. It was difficult to decide because I do think Living Daylights is very good, but yeah, I had to go with License to Kill. Very gritty, very violent, all set in America, which normally for me, I like my Bonds to at least start or have a fair chunk of it in Britain, but all in America, and yeah, it works. It works for me, and I think it works for a lot of people. So that's Dalton's best, in my opinion. Number 4 in my list. Obviously, there's not exactly a choice to be made here, but I want to show some love for On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Lazenby's only Bond, but a really, really top-notch James Bond film. And Lazenby, I think people do him dirty. They say, well, he wasn't very good. He wasn't a good actor. I think he was decent, like very good to great in that. And I'm never sure exactly what story to believe about when he left the franchise afterwards, whether he was fired or whether he quit. The story I was led to believe was that he left. He just didn't want to do it anymore for some unknown reason. And if that's the case, then that's what you need to slag him off about, the fact that he didn't stay for at least Diamonds Are Forever. Because like I said earlier, I think Diamonds Are Forever would have been even better with Lazenby in it. I'd have liked to see him do at least one more film, if not more. But I love all the ski chalet stuff in this. The opening theme, Ian mentioned it earlier. It's just a really good instrumental John Barry orchestra thing, and of course it's got the Louis Armstrong with All the Time in the World motif that runs throughout the film, and then especially at the end as well. If you don't watch On Her Majesty's Secret Service because you don't consider Lazenby to be a proper Bond, then you're depriving yourself, as far as I'm concerned. So that's my number 4. Number 3 is one that it is my favourite Pierce Brosnan, and as Simon said, and Ian as well, I think it has to be the best. It's GoldenEye. Now, for many years, I actually slightly preferred Tomorrow Never Dies to GoldenEye. However, when I rewatched them recently, I realised, not that I've forgotten, but it confirmed exactly how quality GoldenEye was. And Tomorrow Never Dies, I still enjoy it. I still think it's Brosnan's second best, but that had a slight diminishing returns for me. That one, as good as Jonathan Pryce was in it, but Sean Bean as Alec Trevelyan, one of my top villains, to be honest, throughout the whole series. And Judi Dench, this was her first film as Q, of course, as well. Sorry, not Q. Q was still Desmond Llewellyn, so I'm getting me consonants mixed up there. So that's my number 3, GoldenEye. Number 2, I think this is where I'll differ from you two gents, but I think you probably guessed that this was my favourite Connery, and this is actually my second favourite Bond film of all time. So my top 2 here would be my top 2 if I was doing a list of all of them. It is From Russia with Love. Absolutely spectacularly good, without being, all sort of bells and whistles. It doesn't need to be. Love the train stuff. It's brilliant. Love the stuff in Turkey. That sort of Cold War setting and Cold War element to it of like defections and stuff like that. As Ian said earlier, it's just, even without it being James Bond, it could be any sort of spy written, really. This is just a quality 1960s Cold War action spy movie for me. And number 1, of course, always will be, not just my favourite Bond film, but one of my very favourite movies of all time. Daniel Craig's first Casino Royale. Outstanding, almost a perfect film for me, that Casino Royale. Nothing else to say other than that if you've never seen Casino Royale before, what you're doing with your life, just go and watch it. It is absolutely magnificent from start to finish. There's not a bad scene in it. There's not a bad performance in it, as far as I'm concerned. It's all absolutely cracking. So that's my favourite, and those are my 6.
Great list. Excellent.
But can I just go back? I missed it for the end. I just want to show a little bit more love for this film.
Sure.
Yeah, Majesty's Secret Service. Jimmy said a lot, but I just wanted to add a little bit more to it. I think it's one of the best plots.
Yeah.
Of all the movies. I think it's a terrific plot. Again, a madman trying to take the world over. I think it's got some of the best fight scenes. George Lazenby's fight scenes are really good, especially that first one on the beach.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I think Diana Rigg was wonderful as Tracy.
She was, yeah, perfect casting.
Perfect. She was, and the rapport between George and Diana was fantastic throughout the movie. And I think, and this is where you should watch it if you haven't watched it. The end was beautifully played by George. He got it.
Yeah.
And I think I don't think Sean could have played it like that.
No, I agree. And, you know, why people say, oh, Lazenby were a crap actor, when all you have to do is watch that end.
Yeah, it's just
and
how
it's like,
does
you know,
it.
what planet are you on if you think that's crap
Yeah,
acting?
it's just that lovely. Yeah, but
it might have changed your opinion of Sean Connery if you saw him like break down and cry in that movie.
I can't picture it. I can't.
I couldn't.
That scene, that chase down the bobsleigh is just fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
And the music, that theme, that's all the way. You know, you've got and you get the theme of the main theme playing through it all the time. That scene where Bond's sliding down with his machine gun, killing all the baddies. It's a little bit far-fetched, but it's an absolutely brilliant scene. That fight, that blowing up the lair is one of the best blowing up of a lairs. I think it's just terrific. So that's why I didn't show it with the others. I just wanted to put it on its own pedestal.
Yeah,
I think it's a very, very good plot, and there's some great action in it. Not that he's not the best Bond, but he played it well, and I think that final scene he made it his own.
Yeah, it's a great 60s Bond.
Yes.
Yeah, great movies.
Great movies.
I'd like to have seen a Sean Connery version of it, though, wouldn't you?
No.
No?
No, I think the new.
I don't think Connery's. You know, if someone can point me towards a really moving Sean Connery romantic scene, then please do. As far as I know, there isn't one in existence.
I think Dalton could have played that scene well, and Daniel.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel was wonderful when Vesper gets killed. That scene when she drowns is it's wonderful.
Wonderful.
It's all right, I'm putting the Bond films back.
You right then, Ray?
Yeah. I've got 12 Bond films on my list.
Go on then. Far away then.
Well, there's going to be 11 after this one because I'm just giving this one a special mention because my wife likes it. I'm not particularly keen on it, but I think it deserves another watch. It's about time. It is. For Your Eyes Only. And I'll sing the intro to each one of these. Yeah. For Your Eyes Only, always thought it looked a bit cheap. After the excitement of Moonraker, it brought me crashing down to earth, and I didn't like it. I did like the parrot, though.
No, that spoiled it at the end with that parody with Margaret Thatcher. That just ruined it for me.
No, we need that in a Bond film from time to time.
No,
we do. We do. I always wanted, apart from at the Olympics, I wanted Bond to meet the Queen, but it be like Jeanette James. Geraldine James, I mean.
No, it would have totally ruined it. I mean, one of the most humorous lines in a Bond film's got to be when, I think it's in Moonraker, where he goes into the church and goes, "Dear Father, for I have sinned." And it's cute. He goes, "You certainly have, 007." That's one of my.
Anyway, look, Ian, shush. This is my top 12 now. So let's have a bit of hush, please. Anyway, look, so we're on 11 now. This is an added bonus, just an added bonus. I like Diamonds Are Forever at number 11. I do. I'm sorry. I just do.
Don't apologise. I like it.
Yeah,
It's easy to watch.
Ray, you've got plenty to apologise for, but liking Diamonds Are Forever is pretty low on the list.
Well, that's all right then, because it is lowly regarded these days in the average Bond list, which I can't understand. But there you go. And I didn't like Blofeld on it. I've got to say, it was rubbish Blofeld. Right, and I'm going to go on to number 10, which is Never Say Never Again. I know you'll think to yourself, why you put that on there? I enjoyed it, all right? And it's good when you're watching all of the Bond films. It's nice to have that one break it up a little bit, rather than watching Roger Moore get really old.
Where do you
get
place
Sean
that in the list?
Huh?
Where do you place that film then in the list of James Bond films?
Right at the bottom.
Straight after Connery, or do you place it in like 1984? I think when it was made.
Which like, it's number 10 on my list. Stop asking irritating questions. It's 1983, wasn't it? It was after Octopussy, or same time as Octopussy. Number 9, I have got Octopussy. I've put it at 9 now. It was a bit higher in my original list, but it's gone down a bit now. I like it. It's all right. It's silly, but I like it. It gets a bit too silly at the end. That's what spoils it for me. And I don't like who's that name? Hamid Khan. I don't like his clicky jaws. He sounds like Mr. Mayo. So I don't like him. But I did like that bit where that bloke falls on the bed of nails. That was funny, wasn't it? He says, "He's on my bed." You remember?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, I remember.
Anyway,
quiet.
Yeah. And then that bloke, the tennis player, when he starts having a game of tennis. So we're number 8 now, are we? Number 8. Yes, View to a Kill. Not a lot of people like that one, but me and my wife, we like that. We think it's good fun. You like that one?
Yeah. It's one for some reason that one seems to be the one I've seen on the telly most. Like ITV just seemed to show that a lot over the years.
Yeah, it's popular.
Maybe that's something
choice
to do with it. Admittedly, Roger Moore was way too old for the role by then, but yeah, Christopher Walken was a decent villain. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, double villain because you got Grace Jones as well, didn't you?
Yeah. I've got a lot of time for Grace Jones, and she was a villain, but she was also a Bond girl because Bond did sleep with her. So,
well, and also I thought a really good twist was just when you think Bond's got rid of Zorin, his Nazi dad comes out of a spaceship and starts to attack him with a pickaxe. Well, I mean the Zeppelin.
Ray, you just you forgot. You said you were going to sing the theme intro for all these, but you stopped sort of after the first couple.
Yeah. It's not one. You know, it doesn't start off. It starts off to dun, 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 and I can't do Simon Le Bon's voice. That's the problem. Don't make any sense though, but I do like the song. It's of its time. What's it's number 7 now or 6 or Live and Let Die. I like that one. Gets bad reviews these days because everyone, oh, it's racist because the villains are black. Oh, but you know, I like it. I like the speedboat bit. I like the Sheriff Pepper. I like Kananga.
Secret agent.
Yeah, he played in 2 films, didn't he? That
Yeah,
one,
he
wasn't
was
it?
in
Listen,
Yeah.
let me give you my list of why I like it because it's a long one. I think Roger Moore looks great in it. I think Roger Moore was brilliant in it, and he was my first Bond. You know, first Bond film I saw at the seminar was Spy Who Loved Me, backed up with Live and Let Die. What a double bill that was! Yeah, and also I like what do I like? I like the Voodoo Island bit, and I like the Scarecrow doll, and I like what's her name, the Black Bond girl.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Crocodile scene was good in it, wasn't it? Where he steps over them.
Crocodile scene was brilliant. Yeah, it was like where isn't he gonna go in this? It's wicked. It's still a good film to watch. Now let's have a look. Sorry, I've lost my list because my phone's right. And then we're going on to was GoldenEye. I like GoldenEye. That's good.
That's
I
good.
like the Bond girl in it. She's dead pretty, and she's not being dubbed, which is quite sort of unusual for a Bond film or for a Bond girl. And then I like where is it now? Not in any particular order, but then Dr. No. Love Dr. No. Underneath the mango tree, and I like when Quarrel gets burnt by the dragon. That's great. And when they get naked in the shower, the nuclear shower, that's a good bit. And when that Chinese bird is going to order a Chinese for him, and then you think she ain't Chinese, and then you see Dr. No saying that he's half Chinese, and you say he's not Chinese. And and also Jamaica looks great there. I've been on that beach, you know. It's not the only time it's been used on a Bond film. Yeah. Got there on a catamaran. Yeah, it's called Dunn's River Falls, and they're at the bottom of it. At the time, though, it was owned by some British person, but when they died, they give it to the nation. But it's
What was the
it's
other
very nice.
Jamaican movie then? James Bond.
Live and Let Die was done in Jamaica, and I think there was a third one. I think was it License to Kill? My memory fails.
America, wasn't it?
Some of that was still in the Bahamas.
Yeah, and the Bahamas is used a lot. That was in Thunderball, which coming to the next one. I love Thunderball, but don't get me wrong. Yes, the underwater bit is awful. I mean, I sometimes I'll watch it and I think this is great. Just love the look of the film. Other times I'll watch it and it goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And it just went on. Last time I watched it, in fact, it just never stopped. And they said that the underwater bits is only about 16 minutes. I mean, well, and what else did I like it when Q comes out to visit him in the Bahamas?
Yep.
And at number 1 is Goldfinger.
Has to be.
Yeah, did you notice though that there's enough said about that, but did you notice there was no on Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is right at the bottom of my list, and there is no Daniel Craig stuff. Who I very much dislike as James Bond. He does not represent James Bond to me, and with time, he's just made me more angry. And this is also shared. This opinion is also shared by Calvin Dyson and the Bond Experience.
Well, what do they know? They have not read the books. If you read,
What the Calvin Dyson? I'm taking the
Yeah,
mick.
the
I've got
Calvin
no idea
Dyson.
who that is.
yeah, but no,
I don't know who that is, and by the sound of it, his opinion isn't worth knowing anyway.
yeah. To be quite honest, Ray,
These people, this Bond is their living.
Yeah,
I
it
need
doesn't
to get
say his
out more,
opinions are all 100% correct, though, does it?
no, but no. Daniel Craig
No, probably not.
plays James Bond as Ian Fleming wrote him. That is, if you read the books, that is James Bond. Daniel Craig got it off to a T.
Why don't
Yeah,
you
but
rate?
I don't. Bonds to the books. I watch it. I want to see James Bond as a Cubby Broccoli character on the film on celluloid, not what's in a bloody book.
That's
true.
the true character. True character.
Anyway,
But all
I've
of
heard
them-
that the books are all
actors have
over the
brought
place.
all the actors have brought something to the role of James Bond. But if you wouldn't,
Except Lazenby.
yeah, they all did. They all brought their own little quirk.
Lazenby was great. I said
the one that
Lazenby,
brought it-
no one gives him a chance because he only did one.
Yeah, the one that, as I said, the one actor that plays James Bond as Ian Fleming wrote him is Daniel Craig.
Why don't you rate on Her Majesty's Secret Service then, Ray? Why is it at the bottom of your list?
Well, I told
what are
you
your
it's at the
reasons?
bottom, so it's about 25, isn't it? Or 26
What are
after.
your reasons why you dislike it?
I just think he's a terrible actor. It feels, first time I saw it, I remember the disappointment. Like, where's Sean Connery? This ain't James Bond. And all the way through the film, he didn't feel like James Bond. It was just, who is this man? And I still feel that way about him.
Don't you even
And I
like
don't
the plot?
think Diana Rigg. Listen, I don't think Diana Rigg would be a suitable partner for James Bond. Not that I want to see James Bond married. James Bond's an assassin, a killer. You don't want to
Yeah,
be.
that's how-
"Ooh,
that's
I'm
how
in
it
love
was
with
written.
you."
It was written like
Balls
that.
to whatever book.
He does get married in the book as well.
I don't care about the bloody book.
They're the ones that, if it weren't for the books, you wouldn't have your films right. I love the books.
Yeah. But Frankenstein
movie
film
buff,
was
aren't you,
totally different to the book.
You're a movie buff, aren't you, Ray? Don't do the books. Anyway,
There's
Ian.
no point in arguing about it, really. Is there? Just got to accept it.
Yeah. Ian, if you had to rank a top three, what would it be?
My
Put you on
top
the spot
three.
now. The top three.
Top three. Oh God. Casino Royale, Goldfinger, and Spy Who Loved Me because that was the first one I went to.
Yeah.
That's the first one I saw in the set. All three of them, it's very hard, but all three of them are quality, every single one.
Could you do it, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think my top three is going to be pretty much the top three that I gave earlier on. Really, number three, I think GoldenEye. There's probably just edging out certain other ones that I love, such as Fiora, not Spy Who Loved Me, Doctor No would be top 10. But yeah, GoldenEye at number three, From Russia with Love. Which seems to be really underrated tonight. So I'm going to show that plenty of love. From Russia with Love, with a beautiful Bond girl. I wish I could remember her name.
Daniela.
Yes, it's Daniela something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And number one, and I love him even more now I know that Ray can't stand him, is Daniel Craig and Casino Royale. That's my top three. Same as when I did me top six.
I would go with number three, Live and Let Die. It's my third.
Good choice. Good choice.
GoldenEye, that's the second.
Good choice.
And,
Good choice.
Goldfinger, that's the third.
Well, that's a
Good
GoldenEye.
choice.
That's a GoldenEye as well, Ray.
Did I not?
I didn't get a good choice when I said it.
No, I'm just creeping around the host.
Yeah. That's what I assumed. Yeah.
All right, listen, I like your choices too, apart from all of them. Well, don't know. You said Dr. No, didn't you? So that's all right.
Well, I said Doctor No would be top 10, yeah. But I also said GoldenEye was my number 3.
There was too much gold in it. Fancy missing out.
I've got a bit of some silly facts about some of the Bond films. Right, The Living Daylights, the scene where he's defected and he takes off in the Harrier jet to fly off into freedom and all that. He climbs the steps and it's like a castle. You remember the scene in Living Daylights at the beginning?
Yep.
Yeah.
That castle is not a castle. They actually used a gas tower that was in Northampton and they superimposed it over it. True story. And the other thing is, I actually saw a Bond film being filmed.
Well, Amberley.
I saw Octopussy, some of Octopussy being filmed.
Oh, Octopussy Circus.
Yes, I've got a picture that I'm going to show you. So
I bet it's that train, isn't it? I bet you went to see the train.
Well, it's something to do with the train, yeah. Of course it is. But you wasn't allowed to take any pictures while they were filming.
So you snuck in the bushes.
No, but after they finished the filming, we hung about, and I took that.
Come on, show us. Take that. Oh, here we go.
That is actually the border between East and West.
Yeah.
East and West Chalfont St Giles.
I think that's a place called Alton Mere. I mean, you know the scene where the car goes into the river in that film? We saw that being filmed.
Cool.
I have linked it to Northampton, yeah. Living Daylights.
Whoa.
So yeah. So that's my collections with Bond. My town was featured in it, even though you wouldn't know, and I've actually seen it.
Well, it was disguised as Berlin.
Well, that is the where they go over the border from East Germany to West Germany. God, tell how old it was.
There is a fan theory that the later movie The Rock Sean Connery played in is a James Bond film.
I've heard that.
Yeah, someone made a video of it on YouTube to find the connections, and when you watch it, there's a few things he says.
Yeah.
Could be right, but it's just a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I mean, it's not tied into the Bond canon, so it's just theories. Yeah. But yeah, I can see the connections. Yeah, being made.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, similarities.
Can.
I think there's a similar thing with the Back to the Future series, wasn't there, with Midnight Express?
Yeah.
So that's the fourth Back to the Future movie, wasn't it? Supposedly, but it's all like fan talk, isn't it?
Okay, what's your favourite Bond gadget?
Bond gadget. I don't know. I mean, it's like, how many watches does he have? Like, he can do fancy stuff. Which one? Which one do you go with?
I'll tell you what mine is. Little Nell.
Oh, is that the little helicopter thing?
Yeah, I love that.
Helicopter.
I think the Parker pen grenade was pretty cool,
Yeah.
And I like the key ring that whistled.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Michael's just talking about Aston Martin. Now, one of my friends worked for Aston Martin. When they made Casino Royale, it was his job to look after the Aston Martins on set.
The missile launcher in the BMW Z3, that was a bit extreme.
Yeah. And I still like the briefcase in From Russia with Love. I think that's because it's so spy, isn't it? It's so 60s, the gold sovereigns. It's all twee, isn't it? Really.
The remote control car, that was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, the invisible car.
That was a bit later on, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that was a little bit far fetched for me.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Yeah, Steve is right, little Nelly. As it says, tell them to bring little Nelly, and I suggest that they send her grandfather as well, which meant cue bring the helicopter.
The car airplane, remember that?
Yeah, but that was from and then you've got the Mustang in Diamonds Are Forever, which that scene is totally cocked up because it went in one way and come out the other.
Whoa. No, the jetpack. That was good, wasn't it?
Oh, the one in Thunderball, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then favourite car. There's been so many.
Probably
Well, I did like the BMW.
No, the DB5 with the ejector seat.
No, I think look, if you had that car in real life, you'd just be asking for trouble in Britain, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It'd be covered in scratches the minute you got out of it. Have its tires be slashed, windscreen smashed. You'd be dragged out and beaten up. It's not worth it.
The Z3 would be pretty good to have. I mean, like it's sort of in between the two, isn't it? It's a bit flash, but it's not too flash.
Yeah. Where's
What
he
was
gone?
What was the underwater vehicle?
Oh, well, it's DeLorean, wasn't it?
DeLorean, was it?
I did like the Lotus in Spy Who Loved Me, the submarine car. That's pretty cool.
I thought it was a Lotus.
Hottest Bond girls from Michael. Oh dear.
Sexist. Just joking, he's fine. Well, you know my least favourite Bond girl is. As I said in the chat, he's Honor Blackman, pussy galore.
Well, I didn't like Brit Eklund.
Vicious.
One of my favourites is Michelle Yeoh in Tomorrow Never Dies. I think she was great.
Really?
God.
Yeah.
Natasha from GoldenEye, I think.
Yeah, she was good.
Oh yeah, she's nice. And so's that one on Casino Royale, and what's her name? Mary Goodnight.
Nah, Brit Eklund. I thought that was a.
Denise Richards, yeah, she's hot.
Denise Richards, no way.
I don't like them, apparently.
Really?
No.
I like Miriam.
Bombs in order of hotness, Matthew.
I think I liked what was her name, Miriam Darbo in Living Daylights, that played.
Oh no, you're deliberately saying all the annoying ones, aren't you?
Who played the Russian spy?
Barbara Bach.
Barbara Bach.
Yeah. Triple X.
Ringo's
Jane-
wife.
Jane Seymour, Solitaire. I thought she was good. I've got a lot of time with Grace Jones and A View to a Kill as well. But if you're ranking him on hotness, then well, you know, that's a whole other video in of itself, really, isn't it?
How else do you rank them?
For sheer hotness, because I've had a mad crush on it for many years. And my number one has to be, I can't remember the character's name, but Monica Bellucci, who was in Spectre. Yeah, Spectre she was in. Fairly minor role, but Monica Bellucci has to be one of the most beautiful women in the world. So that's my number one.
Yes.
Exactly, Robbie, yeah.
Yeah, I think he agrees with you.
Robbie agrees.
Come here then.
All right. I think we pretty much covered it, haven't we?
Well,
Hello.
didn't we?
That's true.
Talking about gadgets.
We did mention them, yeah. Yeah. Do you have a favourite? I mean, there's so many.
Well, I like it when James Bond gets pulled up at the end of Thunderball, you know, and he pulled up into the sky off the dinghy. And what else? Oh, when Roger Moore he's like, is it a pen where he has to have a fight with this giant snake in Moonraker?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
The snake doesn't look remotely real, does it? It just looks like terribly fake, doesn't it?
Yeah, but remember, Roger Moore wouldn't do stunts, would he? Because you remember on Moonraker when he's doing the cable car fighting, and it was all like rear projection, wasn't it?
Yeah. I watched View to a Kill, and every time there was a stunt, you can tell like Roger Moore wasn't in it. You know, some guy in a wig and that. You know, you briefly.
People are still saying Idris Elba should be the next Bond when he must be older than what Roger Moore was when Roger Moore finally retired.
Yes.
And I've got a lot of time for Idris Elba. You know, if Daniel Craig had left after, say, Quantum of Solace in the late 2000s, then yeah, there would have been a window of opportunity for Idris Elba before he got too old to become Bond. But you know,
he could make it. He'd make a good daddy.
Well, yeah, it'd make a good M. I'd like to see him as M.
Who's your favourite M?
Well, Bernard Lee, of course.
M.
Oh, Bernard Lee's good. Judi Dench I like, although that when they rebooted Casino Royale, I mean, I love Casino Royale, and it's a very, very minor niggle. But it just felt weird that Judi Dench retained the role. But after a while, it stopped bothering me. So, but yeah, I'd say Bernard Lee's probably my favourite. Yeah.
Bernard Lee.
Yeah.
Bernard Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then followed by Judi Dench. I thought she was terrific.
Oh, what's the name of the guy in between?
Robert Brown.
Yes, yeah.
Robert Brown, and I think because his character was in The Spy Who Loved Me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ian, let me ask you a question. You know the Bernard Matthews turkey dinner they used to do? Beautiful. You remember it? You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Bernard, anyway, like they were really nice, weren't they? Them dinners, roast lamb, roast turkey. Easy to do.
Plastic.
And then they did those turkey Twizzlers, and they was lovely. And Jamie Oliver got them banned from the schools. God, fucking do-gooders.
Anyways, back to Bond. Where was we?
I don't know. When's the cookbook coming out, right?
The Astro Zombie said about the Mission Impossible overtook 007 for stunts.
I've never seen any Mission Impossible films. I think any time I see Tom Cruise attached to a project, it's a turn off for me now because he's just such a weird little git, isn't he?
Mm.
And I'm probably missing out on some good films, but I see Tom Cruise's name and I'm like, no, I don't want to go anywhere near it. Just something about him.
I think the things is people that's they go for best James Bond kill one-liners. Oh, I like that one, Stevie. Mine is he got the point when in Thunderball when he turns around and shoots that bloke with the shotgun.
Yeah.
He got the point. Well, the other one when he throws the in Goldfinger where he throws the fan in the bath and goes shocking. Yeah, that's my two.
I can't think of any top of my head.
It's not a kill shot, but there's a bit. You know, in the Man with the Golden Gun when he's in Beirut and there's that scuffle and he's looking for the bullet that killed W whatever, and it's in her stomach, and he tries to retrieve it. And he swallows it because he's in a fight, and she goes, "I've lost my charm." And Bond straightens his tie, says, "Not from where I'm standing," and walks out. I do like that one. Yeah, I know quite a lot of. That's how sad I am. I know quite a lot of little quirks like that. That one-liners. Just think of any more of the post-kill ones.
Yeah, it's been loads. So it's just remembering any particular ones.
Pretty much every time he kills some like anonymous henchman, isn't he? He says something, doesn't he? But
Yeah. I think there's one in The Spy Who Loved Me where Jaws has killed him and he's in a telephone booth and he puts the out of order sign on it. Well, there's one where in Thunderball where he's dancing with someone and she gets shot and she's going to sit this dance out. She's dead.
Michael's favourite one, right? Yeah. Yeah, I haven't really spoken about You Only Live Twice, but I think that's going to be my top 10. I love the Japanese stuff, like the city stuff, really. Like, you know, once it gets to the volcano that opens and stuff, it's a little bit diminishing for me. But
I like the little Bond. What was the Bond girl in there? What was her name? Not the one that he went on the island with. The one that sadly got killed with the.
Yeah.
I love that. That is a good film, and as I said earlier, it's got a really nice theme tune sung by Nancy Sinatra.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a nice song.
It's another one. I feel like I've seen that because on telly quite a few times. You Only Live Twice, and Moonraker. Well, Moonraker for me is like largely pretty silly. Really, it's never going to be top 10, and it'd be lucky to scrape the top 20. I think for me, but I like them all. You know, it's like Bond films. You know, I'm a fan, so there's something I like in all of them. Even the ones like Die Another Day, which you really kind of have to sort of suspend your disbelief if possible. But the Invisible Car, I mean, come on.
Yeah. The thing about Moonraker, if you look at the end of Spy Who Loved Me, yes, that's the end of the Spy Who Loved Me. The next James Bond will be back, and it did say For Your Eyes Only.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
But because of the space shuttle thing, they put Moonraker.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, and Star Wars were coming out at the time, so what can we do that's vaguely space related and a little bit sci-fi, but in the Bond universe? oh yeah, we
Yeah.
can call something Moonraker, but totally change the story and write something in space. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
funny,
what we
like,
need.
in those 60s James Bonds, some of the footage can look a little bit off, a little bit rough, but some of the scenes and stuff can look really.
Yeah, you remember when
clarity can be
the
very
three
clear,
blind
can't it?
mice, three blind mice was chasing James Bond, and there
Yeah.
was that really bad rear projection. It was like they were right on top of him, 50 times bigger.
Yeah, it was, that's
Oh,
a bit
and
hit
that
and miss,
bit at the end of
isn't it?
what's the second one? From Russia with
Russia.
Love, when he's getting rid of the porn film.
Yeah, that's superimposed. And there's a bit where there's the tarantula spider, and you can see him pressing against the glass. But there's one scene that really was scary, and that's in Thunderball when the shark passes him. It should have been the other side of this bit of glass, but for some reason it went round and it literally did pass Sean Connery, that shark. That's why
done by him.
Terrifying.
I think it was because they were supposed to be a dark, but yeah. I like some of the action scenes in Thunderball are brilliant, especially the underwater fight at the end. I think that's brilliant.
How many times did they use that music? They must have used it like every.
It's always good when they do, though.
It's actually 007.
Is it?
That piece of music,
Yeah. It's in GoldenEye, isn't it, as well? Like when
it was first used in From Russia with Love, but the most famous bit is in You Only Live Twice when they have that fight scene in Cody Dock. This all comes from all these things come from here.
plodding back, don't they? Plodding back.
You're a font of wisdom.
Yeah, I mean, I could spend ages talking about the radio adaptations as well.
Go on then.
So a lot of the radio ones, the stories are all actually the books. They're not the films at all. They're actually the actual Ian Fleming books. So you get the Moonraker's the best one on the thing because it is the story of Moonraker is great. And You'll Only Live Twice. They're my favourite radio ones.
What was James Bond's first gun?
I can tell you that.
God,
It was a Beretta.
it was a Beretta. Yeah, it was. It wasn't the PPK. It was the Beretta. And it was handed in, wasn't it, on the first movie? Wasn't it? Oh,
Yes, by the quartermaster.
Major Boothby.
Yes.
No, Major Peter Boothroyd.
Right. Yes. Yes, and then don't forget Maud Adams, the only lady to play a Bond lady twice.
Yeah, she lived twice.
But she was in The Man with the Golden Gun. She played Scaramanga's girlfriend, and then she played Octopussy, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's only been one guy that's played Felix Leiter twice.
Oh, he's dreadful. One second time, wasn't he?
No, there's two. There's Jeffrey Wright, who's played him in the Daniel Craig, and then there's been quite a few actors that have played. Jack Lord was the first person to play Felix. You remember Jack Lord, Steve McGarrett?
Yeah, Y50.
Yeah, he was the first.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only one Q, wasn't there? Desmond Llewellyn.
yeah.
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 He lived in Bexhill, in the old town.
Did he?
Yeah, and he died. He was drink driving and he crashed his car and died.
Yeah, it's very sad. That was just after they'd finished filming The World Is Not Enough, wasn't it? Yeah, because that was
Yeah.
his last. He was leaving. That was his last film anyway. And yeah, I mean, I think Ben Whisshaw's pretty good as Q, but he'll never beat Desmond.
John Cleese had it for a
Even
film.
Peter Boothroyd.
I don't know. That wasn't. It didn't suit him. I don't think.
I don't know. I love John Cleese, so yeah, I'm
Yeah.
happy when he shows up in anything. To be honest, so yeah, I'll give him a pass for taking over from Desmond Llewellyn.
Yeah, big boots to follow, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Well, I like how they introduced him, didn't they?
Yeah,
introduced-
it was like his underling. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make, if you're Q, does that make him R? Yes, I used to love. I think Desmond Llewellyn had a wonderful rapport with all the actors that have played Bond. When he's doing, he was only in it for a little while, wasn't he? But his rapport, I think the best rapport he had was with Sean and Pierce. I think his rapport with Pierce Brosnan was wonderful. And that scene when this is the last time we're going to see you, that last scene with them two was quite poignant. It was quite
especially when you know that it died before the film came. It hits you hard.
Yeah,
Doesn't it?
it does.
Yeah.
So, who's the best money, Penny?
Do we really have to get to this point this evening?
Yes,
Well,
we
not
do.
that bird. Not that bird who's on. What is it? The Living Daylights.
Caroline Bliss.
God, forgettable name as well.
Oh, no. Samantha Bond was good.
Yeah, I liked Samantha Bond. Yeah, I mean Lois Maxwell's the original, and
Lois is
the best for me.
Yeah, Lois will always be.
Yeah.
Miss Moneypenny.
Like, Bernard Lee, Desmond Llewellyn. She's an original, isn't she? Yeah.
That's classic. And don't forget Freddie Gray, who played the Minister.
Oh yeah.
He was in quite a few. And don't forget General Gogo, played by
he was recurring.
Walter Gotthard.
He was on From Russia with Love as a different person.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, but he's sort of.
He has to jump into the lake.
Yeah, he's very much part of the Bond family, isn't he?
Mm.
And of course, John Barry. He is. When it comes to the music, he's the one that set the mark, didn't he? And what was his name? David Arnold looked up to him. He made some great soundtracks, but everyone looked up to John Barry for the soundtracks, don't they?
Mm. I love all the ska and Jamaican stuff in Doctor No, though, music-wise. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the Bond theme, it nearly because the Bond theme's actually written by Monty Norman, isn't it? And he just couldn't do anything with it.
Controversially.
So he gave it to John Barry, and John Barry just made what we all love now. I don't like how they have mucked about with it, though. Really, they kind of try to make it modern, but you can't muck about with that theme.
Did you like Bond 77? I bet you did, didn't you, Jimmy?
What's that? Sorry.
Bond 77.
That music, yeah, I like that from Spy Love Me. What was you saying, Simon? Sorry.
Who is the most deadliest James Bond? Who had the most kill count?
Ooh, that's a silly question.
You've got that up in front of you, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I'm cheating.
Yeah. I'm going to say Daniel Craig.
Mm. Oh well, I'm not going to say him because I just saw Simon shake his head. So, I'm going to guess at Connery.
It's got to be Connery then.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Roger.
No.
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 Wow.
Pierce Brosnan is considered to be the deadliest Bond. In GoldenEye, he killed 47 people.
Oh, blimey.
On the other hand, Roger Moore only took one life in James Bond the movie Man with the Golden Gun in 1974. That film had the lowest Bond kills since. So, yeah, one kill, Roger Moore, in that movie.
Well, it's Pierce Brosnan this fight of choice because at the beginning of Tomorrow Never Dies, he takes out an entire army, doesn't he?
Mm.
But
So that's surprising. How many people? 47 in GoldenEye.
Yeah. Yeah, so it says.
God.
Mm.
What do you think's the greatest post-titles sequence?
pre-titles.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose it's got to be Spy Who Loved Me, isn't it?
It is an iconic one, and it's the Spy Who Loved Me with the ski.
Yeah, it gets like that.
Yeah.
I remember watching that when the cinema, when the Union Jack opened up. Everyone was going, "Way!"
Yeah, like you said, as much as the film's like not brilliant, I do like the pre-titles bit for Die Another Day. You know, the torture. Yeah,
it's the best bit. It's the best action of the whole movie, actually.
Yeah. You can leave really after you've seen that. Quick, get out before Madonna starts singing. Yeah,
yeah, that has got to be one of the worst songs in the Bond. Apart from Sam Smith, of course.
Yeah. Madonna and Sam Smith are the two worst Bond themes for me. That was me top three themes were easy, and me bottom two were easy as well. They were definites, locked in.
Yeah, you just put them at your bottom of your list before you start. I remember when I did mine; they were at the bottom straight away.
Yeah.
The other person you can't remember is Maurice Binder, who designed all the titles.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, the guys that do them now, they're okay, but they're just not a patch on Morris's work.
Yes, Astro Zombie, I agree with you. Gladys Knight is the best theme. Got a license to kill.
Yeah, it's a good soundtrack, that movie.
Yeah, that's got
Yeah, there's some other good songs on there as well. Did you know that the laser beam in Goldfinger was real?
The invisible laser on Man with the Golden Gun.
No, but that's got the most. I'd probably say. Would you think this is the most iconic line in a James Bond film? Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond. I expect you to die. It's got to be, isn't it? It's got to be the most.
Yeah, it's got to be up there.
Yeah,
it's a good one. It's a good one.
My favourite is Tabasco. Knick-knack, Tabasco. Yes, Mr. Scaramanga.
The bubbles are tickling my Tchaikovsky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go away.
That's View to a Kill, isn't it? That's Fiona. When they're in. Nah, that bastard is not going to film. And Austin Powers is not actually based on James Bond.
We talked about this the other day. Didn't we?
Austin Powers.
It's based on Jason King.
I think it's a bit of both, is it not?
Yeah.
I mean,
the character is more Jason King than James Bond.
Ow.
Because of the frilly shirts. Oh, Dave's come in. See, Dave is a big Bond thing. Goldfinger's laser beam was an optical effect added on post-production.
Someone who was, I think they wanted him as Bond, but because he was quite sort of, was like a strict Catholic, and he didn't like sort of, any raunchiness. But Patrick McGowan, I know, was wanted for the role, prior to Doctor No. The Prisoner is my favourite 60s series. It's phenomenal, but a lot that there's nothing particularly sexual in it because Patrick McGowan was just like, no, I won't do it, and that's why I'd never be Bond. Even though you look at Patrick McGowan and you think, yeah, he would have been a great Bond.
Only 5 other Bond films have won Oscars. It says here, GoldenEye was the first to win an Academy Award when it picked up for the Oscar of Best Sound Effect in '65. 2 years later, Thunderball won the award for Best Special Visual Effects. No other Bond film won an Oscar for the next 46 years until Skyfall bagged the awards for Best Original Song and Best Sound Editing in 2013. Thus, it became the Bond film with the most Oscars. Both Spectre and No Time to Die won awards for Best Original Song in 2016 and 2022, respectively.
What, for Sam Smith's abysmal nonsense and rubbish?
Yeah.
Adele wasn't much better.
No.
Well,
2 crap songs. Yeah.
Circular saw.
Yeah, it's absolutely right.
Still as painful though.
Yeah.
It's good to have a Beatles expert hanging about.
Beatles expert.
Kenny
No,
Michael.
anyone's a bigger Bond fan than me, and that's Dave. He knows as much as about Bond as me. He's got all the books and all the monarchy as well, so he's as big a Bond fan as what I am. And he's full of useless information like that. That is true. There was a circular saw. You can understand why Sean Connery was getting a little bit bothered.
Yeah. Well,
Now let me ask you all a very important question at the beginning of Majesty's Secret Service, and Lazenby says this never happened to the other bloke. Does that really annoy you? Does it?
No, I like it. It's just it's breaking the fourth wall, but it's a nice little bit that I think.
Yeah, it pays a little bit of homage to Sean Connery.
Dale, how's the UK VC going? Because I've been blocked for a week, so I've just come back, but I'm not allowed to play any music till 26th of June.
As far as I know, it's going okay. Going along steadily. We're not peaks yet, have we?
No. It's troubled beginnings. Troubled beginnings.
We're destined to take over the world.
We will do soon. Don't you worry. We will. The UK VC, the last refuge of the scoundrel.
Speak for yourself.
Well then, fellas,
UKVC, that's so much more.
All of us. Us band of brothers.
There is no UKVC. The vinyl community in of itself is just it's a thought, it's an idea. Yeah. It's not something physical or tactile.
It's an enigma wrapped in a shroud. It's a myth.
An illusion.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't exist. It never did.
Yeah. You can say that about any community, can you? Really? I mean,
Yeah, you could say we're not even here talking at the moment. We're actually just a bunch of atoms moving about the place in different forms.
We're just YouTubers that like to vlog. There you go. That's all we are.
Right then, fellas. Let's end it there then and do it all again in another week's time.
Yes.
Right.
Enjoy.
See you later.
Bye, folks.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.